so glad that you decided to tune into Prophecy Alive. I'm Rodrick Owensby, and tonight we're going to be talking about transparency. And when we are real with ourselves, it changes everything. It even changes our outcome. So I'm going to be talking about that. I'm going to have some callers that's going to be calling in. Let's pray. Father God, we first of all give you complete glory, and we give you honor for what you are doing. This is your doing. This is not my doing. This is your doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. Religion will have you so sin conscious until you forget your God conscious. Why would he say, Adam, where are you? When he's omnipresent? Because it's transparency. We hear about the sins of David, but then God says he's the apple of my eye.
You mentioned about David, and the reason why he was a man after God's own heart is because he had a repentant heart. The enemy likes to trick us and keep us distracted with the things that we do wrong, but it's not about that. It's apologizing. It's truly repenting to the Lord for what's going on. He said, turn away. When he forgives, he forgives. He's not sitting around counting how many times you did this, that, and the other. And that's why it's a sin. That's a sin within itself. Mm-hmm. It's that we labor over, oh my God, I didn't do this, and I was supposed to do that. And we stay in condemnation.
The scripture says ye are complete in him. We're not complete in ourselves, women of God, but we're complete in him. This is why there is no fear in love. What is transparency? It is understanding that God has put in us that which we are striving to get. Watch this. Here's the trick of the enemy that we already have. Think about it. When you practice on something and you become good at it, it's only because you already had it. It's Apostle Paul dealt with the mastery. He dealt with fasting and praying, the mastery of the flesh. The greatest sport, the greatest arena is the flesh. It's the arena of the carnal mind and the spirit. We go and we see sports, and it's billions of dollars to see people play sports. But God is giving us in this hour, watch this, spiritual sportsmanship. This world is not perfect in love, and that's why Christ came. He said, I'm going to give you a new commandment. Condemnation comes from thou shalt not. He put Israel in school when he sent Moses. He gave them hundreds of laws. He gave them commandments. When Christ came, he said, listen, I want to give you this one. Love. Because if you got love right, you don't need thou shalt not steal. If we get love right, we don't need thou shalt not do this or that sin. Why? Because perfect love casts out fear. You know what fear does? Fear keeps us from being complete or knowing that we have been complete in him. We're sharing, Queen, about transparency. How have that word changed your life? Share with us, Queen.
I think one of the biggest things and the most transparent a person can be is the first person you can be transparent with is yourself. A lot of times we lie to ourselves about everything when you try to suppress your real, true feelings. Transparency, it's a liberty that you can experience beyond anything else. Because when we're ashamed, I believe like this, if you're not transparent, there's a level of shame that is there because it's almost like you're guarded and hidden. And until you be your true and authentic self, you can never experience that true liberty and freedom in your own life. Transparency for me has opened up so many, and I say windows to myself, because now I can see me and I can accept me. I remember something God had given me, and it was around Christmas time. The question said, what is one thing you can give yourself that does not cost money? What gift you can give yourself that does not cost money? And my thing to myself is acceptance. If I don't accept myself, then I will never be transparent. I will never be free enough to be transparent to anyone else. So that's just what I believe, and that's what I'm experiencing in my own life. Well, there was a time that I experienced a great level of fear, and that fear, again, it goes right back to shame, that fear caused me to hide from myself. That fear, that torment began, okay, that's how I said it. The fear turned into torment. That torment took me to places I never wanted to go. And it's truly an enemy. It literally manifested itself into, I can see another entity. And a lot of times people think, okay, that's just crazy, but no, the spirit realm is real. So because there is an entity called fear, it can manifest itself if you are subject to that. When a person is subject to fear, that thing would allow all type of manifestation. It's almost like the Matrix. When on the Matrix that man was split up into multiple people, that's how fear does. Because once it captures a person's heart to be mind, then there's no limit to it. For perfect love casts out fear. So once I realized that God opened up my mind to that was fear, I knew where to go. You would pray with me. My mother would pray with me. My cousins would pray with me. And I remember in silence, my cousin would tell me, sing your way out. And I said, I can't. Just silence. I could not even sing praises to God until I began to, and I know I just messed the whole house up. I just turned on music and I played it so loud, and we and our son, she liked it, was just like, okay, just let her do it. And I would sing with the song, probably I'll sing everything to the top of my lungs until I silenced the voices that were in my head. Until that music became all that I can hear. So I would go to sleep and I would hear that song or those songs. God used me to captivate me and take over everything that was bombarding me. I remember reading The Battlefield of the Mind. The battlefield of the mind is true. We are whatever we believe. So when we believe in a fear, again, that fear manifests itself in the people before us. And we see people every day and they think someone else will look at them crazy because they're talking to themselves or something like that. But that person, that fear has become a person. And now what God is allowing me to do, that all that information and all that stuff that I had bottled up on the inside of me is turning into Him. I thought it was people on the inside of me talking, but it was just the witty intentions that God had placed inside of me. And it's one thing that you would say, honey, is that they don't control me. These gifts don't control me. I control them. So the voices, I control them. I feel Chevy when they come in. I control these things, and I make these gifts that God has given to me. And it brings me joy. So no longer I walk in fear. I know that the joy of the Lord is my strength, and those things are joy to me. How do I do y'all know it? I do y'all know it with joy. Everything I do has to be out of love. And if it's not out of love, it's out of fear. So how do I conquer fear? I walk in love.
You know, you just opened up a can of blessings. Ladies and gentlemen,
Sure did.
Tasha?
Yes, I'm on.
How has this word affected your life with all of the gifts and the things that God has given you, music, acting? What has that word done? What does it mean to you?
Be open or be approachable or be easy to see through or clear to people, that you can be who you are to people, because if we can't be honest in ministry, if we can't unfold and tell people what we've been through and the testimonies that the Lord has brought us through, how can we win people? Because people are often going through what we went through. And I know with me, I used to be real shy. A lot of people didn't know it, but I used to hide. I used to I didn't want to bring out my gifts because I didn't feel like they were good enough. So as the Lord began to show me who I am in Him and show me that, well, no, I've given you those gifts so that others can see me. And a lot of times we're condemning ourselves, we're disapproving ourselves because of maybe what we've gone through in life and what we've gone through in relationships, or even in childhood. People have rejected us or disapproved us. So oftentimes we disapprove ourselves because of what people have done to us. But when we allow the Lord to help us and to speak to us and to, in a sense, dive in His Word and get some of that Word in us, He unveils who we are in Him. And He teaches us to just, and also to just be real. There are times people are so fake that you don't know the real them. You don't know what they've gone through. And they try to pretend, we all see it in church and get up and, do what they do. But then after that's over, you can't even say hi to them. You can't even approach them. And I think transparency also comes with being real, to just be who you are at the same time. Christ don't want to change your name. He wants to change your nature.
That's good.
In a sense, my name is Tasha, but my nature is Christ. He wants me to use those gifts, use those talents, use those abilities.
It take a poor man to be jealous of a woman's gift. And I'm telling you, Tasha, I enjoyed this. Queen Katrina, you said earlier that what I've shared with you, those gifts don't control you. You control them. You see, what a lot of people call spirits. You ever seen some churches, they so into casting out devils until they cast out every devil but the ones in them.
Mm-hmm.
It almost becomes devil worship. Some things are not demonic. Some things are a demonstration of God's character in you. Now, the man in the Bible who had demons, he was casting himself in fire. Remember that, y'all? He was cutting himself. Now, see, something like that, that's a spirit. But another thing to notice, it could be fear, which is a spirit. But it could be a family issue. There have been people that have been abused that will run from situations. And they go to church and they call it a demon. Emotional issues that need to be healed. There's coming on February the 17th, something that I'll call a ministry of comedy. Watch this. Here's one of Tasha's comedy. Watch this.
Hello? How may I help you?
Hi, I have a question I want to ask you. I'm married. I've been married for some time. And I'm saved. I'm a Christian, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost. And I speak in tongues, and the Spirit of God gives me utterance. I love the Lord. He good. He real good to me.
My God.
And my husband, see, I like Christian music. That's the only thing I listen to. I I listen to Jesus Saves. I like Kirk Franklin. I like Yolanda Adams, Mary. I even like Rick Ellis. I love me some Red Family. Hallelujah. Talk about thank you, Jesus. That man showing off this thing. My husband, see, when we be intimate together, he wants to listen to R&B. See, I want to listen to Christian music because I think the Lord is watching me in everything that I do. Mm-hmm. And see, he's not pleased with me listening to that R&B music while we're together intimately. The Lord is there watching everything that we do. And I just want to be saved. I want to be right. I want to be whole. I want the Lord to search me so he can see everything.
I'm listening.
And I want him to see me doing right. And that R&B, that's of the devil. It's wrong. It's sending folks to hell. I don't support it. And all of them people go to hell.
Oh.
If they don't get it right, what do you think? Could you tell me what you think?
Well, from what you said to me, you're saved, you're sanctified, you love the Lord, and you want to keep it sanctified. Are you ready for my answer?
Yes, I'm ready to hear what the Lord has said. I'm just so excited. I am ready. God, Lord, speak through this servant of yours. On both sides, the audible voice. Yes, glory be to God.
Your problem is church.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to lay my religion down right now. See, you don't know me. I used to cut people in the mouth. I don't have to stand here and take this. I'm a woman of God. You said that you was a man of God, and I believe you're going to give me the truth, and you're going to sit and lie to me? Oh, no. I can't take this from you. I have to listen to this. This is not God. See, my problem is the church is saying, church brought me through. Church saved me. Sanctify me, fill me, Holy Ghost. I will cut you. I will cut you right now. You don't know.
Tasha, what happened to you? I thought you were saved. Sanctified. Then you gonna cut the preacher. I love that. Tasha, how'd you feel when you created that character?
It's basically like we were saying. She was religious, and marriage is carnal. And it's so many people like that, and it just causes them to be, I would say, stiff. They just stiff, and you can't really reach anybody like that. You're too deep. You're too stiff, and the Lord wants us to be loose in Him. Woman, thou art loose. You are loose in the Lord to be free and to do things carnal with your husband and listen to music that will put you in the mood. And I think, the Lord, come on, sis. He don't mind. Hallelujah. Glory. Where there's a need, there's a need.
Come on.
So,
that's the religious
the
wife.
religious wife?
Yes.
Mm.
And
that was good.
That was good. Are you still there, Queen?
That character makes me laugh so because, our time spent in church, oh my God, we've seen a lot. We've experienced a lot, and you better be religious. I mean, we take what we expect. We take the image of the church person home to our husband. And we wonder why a lot of women are standing in the prayer line saying, pray for my husband to be saved. He fell in love with his girlfriend who was doing the things she was doing. And then we find Christ and we forget the girlfriend. We suppress. We forget being attractive. when we was in the street, I had to put my lipstick on. My lipstick was red. And then we come to Christ, we got on blood. We got on that little shimmy shine stuff. What happened? You don't wear makeup anymore. And this is something that my mother told me. We learned how to wear makeup from my mother. When my mother came to Christ, She threw all her makeup away. She was going to bed with a T-shirt on with her husband. And like, Mama, really? And rollers? But we see that on TV, and we forget that these men are men. These are the same men that we were out there chasing down in the streets. But now that we got a husband, and we say we forget that we used to be the high school cheerleaders, or we used to be, we forget that man found you at a 5'6" or a 5'7". We forget that he wants that. Then we get mad because they're on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying.
That girl is rocking tonight.
My Lord. February 17th, Bishop Doobie down in Friends. There's going to be Chevy London. There's going to be Yanos there. And then there's going to be Cheerleading. Whomever you want to see, they're going to be there. So, it's just going to be a powerful thing, I can't wait to see Missionary Tasha. And we're going to see Mother showing up. And then, oh my God, the sheriff, I tell you what.
Now, I'm the sheriff of this here town. Everybody know my name, which is, I tell you what. And I do tell you what, we're going to catch that egg thief, and we're going to bring him back to this town, and he's going to go on trial. He's going to be found guilty. And I tell you what, I'm the sheriff of this town, and I be darned. And we going to keep putting up with this egg thief, stealing eggs from our chickens. This farm is for this community.
How y'all doing? This is Bishop Church. Are you here?
Amen.
Y'all so dry.
Today, man, Bishop, what?
Is that your nose?
It is your nose.
She used to be my. She used to be.
Not Bishop. Missionary Pastor is already saying too.
I'm going to chill him out because I love the Lord. And y'all not talking about yes, the Lord.
Well, Missionary Tasha, I want to introduce everybody to the church mother of It Ain't Green Without Cornbread Ministries. She's none other than Mother Shownuff. Clap y'all hands for Mother Shownuff. She's my mother.
So glad to be here.
Glad Mother Shownuff is here.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Well, Mother Shownuff, we're going to have a meeting because Missionary Tasha and Yanos, there's an issue. I think you want to call a meeting, Mother, don't you?
Absolutely, Bishop. Absolutely. Because one thing I know, sure enough, is that I'm the only one that can keep things in order. And we will have a meeting because it always can be decent and in order, Bishop. That's all we can have is decent and in order.
Glory to God. February the 17th this year is going to be the Ministry of Comedy in Kokomo, Indiana. You want to get your tickets, go to eventbrite.com or you can go to rodrickowensby.com. We went through a tragedy that happened with our goddaughter. She was with us for 3 years. And we went into an emotional cave. After that call I got, the Lord told me not to go to Chicago. He had never told me not to go to prison. He told me this time, don't go. And then he said to me, because it will make what happened seem not official. That's it, Queen. And so a man of God called me from Atlanta, which I haven't seen in 10 years. He said God told him to leave one day open of this conference in Atlanta, Georgia. And he said he just happened to look online and he saw me. And he told his queen, he said, there's my brother. I haven't seen him in, I think, almost 12 years. We talked that night and he said, will you come and close us out? I said, yes.
And he saw you on television. And he called, I think he called around 1 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. And you all were just talking. And when he said for us to come to Atlanta, we just immediately because that's the way you work. When something happens, God's always give you something to do to keep you. And we know that ministry is your love, your first love. Our sister Tasha, we all got together and we went to Atlanta, and I believe we enjoyed ourselves so much that we were ready to move to Atlanta. We're definitely planning a trip back there shortly, but it was just a wonderful thing that God really took us in that hurt, and He birthed out of that hurt some oil. Of course, when an olive is crushed, that's where the olive oil comes from. We want to anoint our head with olive oil, but don't want the crushing. So we're grateful to God, and He's healing us daily.
If I were to say anything, speak your freedom, speak life, speak it again and again, and the rest will follow. So if I speak it, amen, my faith may not be 100%, but it'll get stronger and stronger because there is power in the word, because the word is God. And the show's going to be marvelous because laughter is the key. I will be launching a show here very soon this month from Studio C, and it's called Living on Purpose. The gentleman, amen, that owns the network, he says, this is great because it's a variety show. And Apostle, I want you to come as Bishop Dookie Down.
We do accept that invitation on your show.
It is not there, Bishop. It is Steve Cloudy.
Okay, baby.
I can see clear right now.
Oh, I like you, baby.
No. Hey.
Whatever it is.
Casper, the feeling go, the feeling. I know Casper. He got Casper. Look at that white hat.